Okay, the court's going to call its next case. This is our online case, cause number 242-277-846, and this is Childers versus Halbert. And if you're here for that case, please go ahead and turn your camera on for the court.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'll have to readjust real fast. I'm sorry about that, Your Honor. I wasn't feeling too great, and so I was actually a bit in bed. But I am turning the camera on now.
It's okay.
Jeez. Zoom meeting. Start my video. Jeez. Okay, good. All right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No need to apologize. Welcome. My name is Commissioner Heritage Filer. We are recording. Just as a note to yourself, you're not permitted to record or otherwise take any photographs of today's platform, okay? And so let's go ahead and start. If you could give me your full name and your date of birth.
My name is Nicholas Alexander Childers. Date of birth is 12/08/1989.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any preferred pronouns that you wish for the court to use today?
They, them, please. Thank you.
Okay. And if you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And so I understand that your employment is doing process serving, legal documents. Is that right? Or
I'm sorry?
That you were employed as a legal service, doing legal service. Is that right?
Oh, yes. My partner Matt there actually was attempting to serve papers
okay.
to a doctor that had recently transferred there, formerly of Evergreen Primary in Woodinville. We thought they were there. We went there first. Turns out they transferred to Optum in Snohomish, and so that's how we ended up there.
Got it. And while you were there with your partner trying to complete a task, this gentleman, the respondent, acted inappropriately toward you. And so in your own words, I'd like you to describe for the court the threats and the commentary that Mr. Halbert was making during this incident as far as supporting your request for an unlawful harassment protection order, okay? Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to be looking over paperwork here, so it might look like I'm not paying any attention, and I assure you that that's not
you're
the
fine.
case.
You're fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so go ahead and begin when you're ready.
So basically, we had showed up there to serve papers. We had made 2 attempts, one of which I went in to try to attempt to explain the situation to the front desk, to no avail. So I left, I walked out the front door and back to the car to stay outside because that was just the best move for me. Matt came along with me, and he has videos of both times we went inside. So as we went outside, apparently this guy had followed behind us, but he hadn't interacted, so I thought nothing of it, especially when he walked to his own car. His own car was parked in the same corner as us, but perpendicular and a couple spaces down, approximately 20 feet or so away. He was standing at the back, from what I noticed, maybe just walking back and forth a little bit, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I was minding my business. I was talking to Matt. I was trying to, calm myself down and figure out what we were going to do. At some point, I see this guy go to the front passenger seat to get something, comes back, and it looks like he's got a lighter and cigarettes, and he starts smoking. And that's all I originally saw. After, finishing his cigarette, he started kind of acting strange, and he was kind of mumbling here and there. We happened to hear the word like faggot under his breath at one point, which kind of confused us. And he's a complete stranger. We don't know him at all. No interaction whatsoever.
And he wasn't the person you were trying to serve either, right? He was just waiting to pick up his
complete stranger. Yeah. The only thing that we had in common was being in the same spot. So as he's walking away after finishing the cigarette, he's also making gestures, obviously sexual gestures, stuff like hand motions, like, quote unquote, jerking off or whatever. And he looks back once or twice while walking back into the building. Didn't really know what was going on there. I looked at Matt about it, and that's when Matt told me apparently he had also seen a fixed blade knife that he had grabbed, put on his hip, and pulled his shirt over. I hadn't seen that, so I didn't really know or think anything of it or whatever. He said he'd also apparently seen him potentially recording for some reason. And the guy later said he had been recording. He said that to a cop in a statement. So I guess I don't know what his plans were or why he was recording us. I didn't notice. I told Matt not to worry about it. Like, well, unless he says anything to us directly, that's not our business. Like, we're here for something else. I'm not worried about it. We're just going to mind our business. So he eventually comes back out. Me and Matt are still hanging out at our car. The guy walks back to his car, stands back at the back bumper where he is, and has another cigarette. As we're talking, the guy starts talking in our direction at us, and I didn't hear what he says the first time. So, I say what, because not in a, just like, I'm like, sorry, what? Like a confused I thought the guy was genuinely talking to me. I don't know who he is, and I don't have a problem with him. So, he's like, my little plan is not going to work. And I didn't really quite understood what he meant. And I was like, well, I mean, we're just going to wait here to serve papers. We've got everything else done, thinking he was genuinely talking to me. And then he literally corrected me. He's like, no, I mean, your little fucking plan isn't going to work. And from that point, I kind of could tell, oh, okay, he wants a problem. I don't know what's happening here, but he wants a problem. So he starts telling me how my little fucking plan isn't going to work, and that he's got me recorded or whatever. I think he called me sweetheart at one point. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. And this guy is just, honestly, it's rather ridiculous. So, I'm just kind of laughing it off, wave him off as I walk around to the other side of the car. I was originally standing in front of the car, which did kind of put me closer to him. Not very close. We still had separation of about 15 feet. But I made the move around the side to the passenger side door, which put a whole car between us. This guy makes the point to storm across that whole distance, come around the entire car just to get in my face next to the passenger side door, start yelling and cussing at me, threatening me, falsely claiming that we had harassed the front desk and that they had told us to leave, or they were calling the cops or something, which that did not happen. And my partner, Matt, has 2 separate recordings of both interactions with the front desk. When we went inside, it shows very clearly what really happened.
And so I'm going to cut you off just in the interest of time. However,
Sorry.
I am going to enter a temporary order for you, and here's why. Unlawful harassment, subsection A, requires either a course of conduct entered directed at a specific person, or there's a subsection B
violence.
That is a single act of violence or threat of violence. If it's just the threat of violence, it has to include either a hate crime or the presence of a firearm or another dangerous weapon. And in this case, you've alleged it included both. And so I am entering this under subsection B of the unlawful detainer statute. So here's what I'm going to do. I only have the authority to enter an order that is valid for up to 2 weeks. And so I'm setting a hearing for you that will be 2 weeks from today on the 17th of December, and it'll be at 8:30. It's a different Zoom link than the one you're using. You'll want to use that. I understand you have a witness here. Now, keep in mind that anything that you'd want a third party to put forward needs to be in writing. And that might be part of the petition. There's 69 pages of it. I'll admit I didn't get through all 69 pages. And so, but the court won't take testimony from a witness at the next hearing. So just be prepared for that. If you have anything to offer, make sure it's in writing in advance. Now, I see here that you also filed a motion for a subpoena. According to our ex parte manual, which is what we have to follow, these things need to be presented to the assigned judge, but since there's no assigned judge in this matter, then it would need to be presented to the chief judge at the MRJC. And so, or here it's a Seattle, and so it'd be the chief judge in Seattle for that to be considered and entered, okay? And so here in your temporary order, aside from setting the hearing on the 17th, I am also going to require that the respondent not harm, contact, or stalk you. He is not also to contact or stalk your partner, Matthew Goldman, if that is a request being made by you. Is that, and I'm seeing Mr. Goldman nod his head. The respondent will be required to stay 1,000 feet away from petitioner, their residence, and that looks like it. You've also asked for an evaluation and treatment. That will be determined at the full hearing in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. The request for an order to surrender weapons. I didn't see a proposed order, but we can put one here together for you. I will grant that based on the, of course, based on the allegation that the respondent showed a weapon and kind of used it in a threatening or intimidating manner. That will have a separate hearing date, however, which will be for the 19th of December. So you have a hearing for a full order on a Tuesday, and the following Thursday will be on the weapons. You're not required to be at the hearing regarding weapons. You're entitled to be there, okay? And so,
Yes, Your Honor.
What's that? Oh, you've got the order, okay. And so, any questions for me?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much. You've been very great help. Thank you.
You are most welcome. I put that response in regards to the subpoena in a denial order. I'm not going to sign it. I'm just going to hand it off so that you know, just in case you forgot where it needs to go, okay?
No, perfect. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. Any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so I hope this brings you a little bit of peace of mind. I noted in your petition, you said that you've had anxiety leaving the house and not knowing, and so you are free to provide a copy of this if you live in an apartment building or you want to provide it to an employer, just so that people can have eyes on the situation and let you know if anything is out of the ordinary, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And that being said, that concludes the hearing, so you're free to hang up whenever you're ready. You're going to receive a copy of these orders today by email, okay? Actually, since your partner is here, he could also
That would be wonderful, yes.
Okay. And so you're free to hang up whenever you're ready. That will conclude this part of the hearing, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You as well. And so, Brandon, should we have him? No, let's just make him a copy, and then we'll keep this for...
Copy of the order?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we'll take this down as per normal, just this. And then you did that. And then, sir, unfortunately we break for lunch. However, the good news is that you are first in line.